Yeah, okay. I'm thinking about what are the criterias of splitting the contract to these separate instances. I mean, is it, as if I understood right, this is the storage limits. I mean, if I, we are trying to make to architect a stable coin in the
Right.
TON, yes. And there are some, for example, bookkeeper contract which stores maybe 10,000 of positions, but it could
It's a very
store
good question.
also 1 million positions. But I'm afraid if we would split. Would have to split all of the contracts, it would take a lot of time. Maybe I'm talking about a hackathon. Could we use just one contract and split it later? Like what is the strategies and criteria of
Right.
when to
Very
do it?
good question. Very good question.
Yeah, thanks.
So here we go deep into TON asynchronous architecture. So why do we need sharding? Why do we need splitting all the contracts? Why not use one contract with infinite array? Yeah, like USDT smart contract in Ethereum. Why not using it? The point is that if you will use such approach, you won't scale. So if your stablecoin will use such approach, your stablecoin will be very expensive. Did you see the article from Talcol, how to shard your smart contract and why? I think in
Yes.
this article he wrote the approach. So like if you have some things that should scale infinitely, like users, like you have user has like amount of jetons, user has address, and you have potentially infinity of in my amount of users. So you should scale it. You like create smart contract child. And if you have some data that won't scale infinitely, like you have only 10 oracles, like, or 10 validators for such smart contracts. It's just imagination. So you can just store them in your master smart contract, and that's all.
Okay, and if there are 1 million of contracts, each of them read from this one other master contract. Is there some bottleneck in messaging limits like this? Could I split this store like settings contract? I have one settings contract and 1 million contracts that read from this. Should I split this,
Right.
or there is no bottleneck and don't do it automatically?
Right. Very good question. Don't do it automatically. In such case, don't won't split your master contract. If I remember right, yeah, it won't split your master contract. But regarding the messages, in one, so on extremum, like on maximum, you will have 1 million users, and potentially you will have like own blockchain, own shard chain, only for your smart contract, because 1 million users will message it. Maybe Eugene with experience from bridges could add some more explanation to it, because I didn't write it, so my answer is like only theoretical.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to invite Sipeja. Maybe for next time I'd like Sipeja to join us
Yeah,
as
would be
well.
nice.
Yeah,
Would be
okay, I'll
nice.
do that.
I think it's that if I understand your question right, Maxime, you ask like that sharding is the right way. You understand it, right? But you're asking like this is just taking too much time to shard it, because you would have to basically write two contracts, and all of your logic would have to be coordinated with each other. So you're asking if such approach would still make you applicable for winning on the hackathon? Is it the right question?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but could it maybe the right approach to write main contracts without sharding for fast prototyping like this, and do sharding later when we go prod?
I would say if I would have to make a decision personally, I would try to understand, is my prototype going to be cool enough that Tal will ignore the fact that you guys are not sharding? If yes, then I would go for it, because it saves time indeed. Like, I had to make similar decision recently. I mentor one project and I kind of invest in them too. And I like the guys were actually trying to make it fast. Like, they wanted to do a prototype to see things fast, but I realized that I can, let's say, as soon as I'm funding them, I don't want to run with this project. I don't want to run for some profits from the from Fedora hacks. So basically, for me, to make it sustainable, it makes sense to actually make it sharded like from scratch, because I don't even think that in classic go-to-market strategy, sharding sharding could be postponed, because this is two completely different models. You got to launch with sharding, because this helps you to calculate how expensive is your model. Because if you are going to first launch prototype, it will give you zero information about how expensive your tool is, because once you launch the real one, it would have to be completely differently structured. So like the standard go-to-market strategy for me would be go ahead with sharding. It's not that scary as it seems in the beginning, and I'm quite sure about that because I've done it. And one great news is that in Tact, and we all waiting for Tact, and Roman, let's make like a minute of Tact where you share some insight. So in Tact, this is done automatically for you. You don't have to actually shard it. So basically, in Tact, there's such constructions that are compiling into sharded contracts. So this is good news, right? So
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.